Welcome be, O seeking souls, to this holy house of Immaculates.
Who are you?
Will I read
What do you
the
got?
words of the goddess?
Summon fire elemental. Oh, I need to get this.
To become enlightened.
What all do we got?
Immaculate I want to be! The blood of the lost will flow!
Okay, who are you?
I am Loic, enlightened one among Immaculates, spokesman for the holy conduit, as she is spokesman for the goddess herself. Hers is the blood.
I'd like to ask you some questions about the Immaculate.
Then it shall be my pleasure to answer them.
Who are the Immaculate?
We are the chosen ones of the goddess. The benedictions of the blood render our bodies and spirits unblemished, for such is her mercy, that we may all become part of the sacred soul. And you too, Seeker, could become one such part.
Well, let's
Read the words of the goddess.
discuss my joining the Immaculates.
You find yourself in the goddess's temple, therefore it follows she wants you to take the true path. So here, have this hallowed tome, read it, absorb the wisdom within, then find the second part and do with it the same. If an immaculate you want to be, a test of knowledge shall be your first step towards enlightenment.
Could you tell me more about the
The
conduit?
conduit, yes. She, the most exalted of all, second only to the goddess. It was she who brought us first her divine words, then her divine will, a will made real in blood. Truly, though, she is quite beyond your concern, O wandering soul. She stands so very high above your humble station.
I'd like to hear about the
The
goddess.
goddess is the light and life of all. Corrupt is the world that generations of men and beasts have left behind. But immaculate it may be once more, cleansed in the blood of the unworthy. The few, the proud, the enlightened, theirs will be her kingdom. When red has run until no red is left, a paradise we will have shapen, and the goddess will dwell among us.
I'll take my leave.
Immaculate I want to be!
Huh.
Farma Malbenita, a source hunter in Silver Glen. I have traveled mile on top of mile to find help, and now help has, how you say, appeared from skinny vapors.
Tell me about yourself.
My story? Well, this is no small tale. I think perhaps you will be more interested in the, how you say, the short end of stick.
Ah.
I believe Lawrence, the leader of Mining Guild, tell my husband and many of other workers to mine deadly ore called tenebrium. Lawrence knew that this ore caused rot. Charming name, no? Yet ordered the miners to continue. Many men, my Ben among them, become the sickness. And now they, how you say, kick down the bucket. But the sickness, it is not normal. It kills swift and terrible, not unlike Source. My son Sebi and I travel from our home to find truth. But this has proven not so easy.
What can you tell me about your husband, Ben?
My sweet little Pomargo Vizago, my darling Ben. Me got along like, how you say, peas and ferrets. But here there is work, very well paid, in mines, clearing special rock from silver
her
mine.
attempts
So
at
he leaves Sebi and I
bad
to come
innuendo.
to Silver Glen. We wait with hearts like stones for some months. And one day, we see familiar figure moving with strange steps on path toward cottage. We run to meet him and take him into our arms, but he collapses at our touch. We help him inside, and set him to rest. But he was in terrible condition. Each hour he grew worse, rot so fast we hardly recognize him after 2 short days. He slipped away from us, and we bury him with much grief.
Tell me more about your son.
When his father died, Sebi became restless. Being of the age, he joined army and go straight to front line. Though I was nearly old woman, I joined army as healer to be near and look after my boy. There we saw special legionnaire using strange weapon. And this legionnaire soon come to my tent with the same disease that killed Ben. I discovered the tenebrium ore in this weapon. It was the ore that killed them both. I come to Silver Glen to discover truth, and here I find Lawrence, that arrogant man, conducts his business without apologize to any.
You need help proving Lawrence knowingly encouraged the miners to handle tenebrium.
Exactly this. Please, Source Hunter, you must help me prove that Lawrence made his workers to mine deadly tenebrium. For your help, I offer blessing from my homeland. Se vi mal successos, mi plantos rizzarbo cae tormenti via nepo soggiai branco. Translation is difficult, but it means something like, if you fail, I will plant cherry tree and haunt your grandbaby beneath branches. Good luck.
What? What the hell? What? Okay. Love it. Don't fail or you'll be haunted. That's great. That's great.
I will do my best to give answers, Source Hunter.
How are you getting along in here?
I have not found scrap of civilization among these apes. Sebi longs for heaping plate of my famous sire mule, but the local fairs support no fine food, unless squirrel meat inspire you. As for neighbors, well, those cultists would rather sacrifice supper to goddess than eat it. May Zalmoxis strike him down, the murderer! I have one goal in Silver Glen, to make him share in the suffering he caused. I am certain he has gained from making those miners take the tenebrium. Now I have only to prove it.
What do you know about tenebrium?
Nothing natural could cause such terrible disease at mere touch. If you ask me, I say dark magic, maybe even source at its root. Fuck that foul thing!
You seen rotten action then?
A terrible disease. It transforms flesh of living into flesh of corpse, while infected person still lives. Arms grow black and heavy, legs grow black and heavy, hair rots from scalp. Cielo helpo min! Oh, what memories I have.
I'll take my leave then.
Hello and welcome to our shop. I am the son of the proprietor, Nadia. Please let us know how we can help you.
Tell me about
You've
yourself.
probably noticed that my mother Nadia and I aren't from around here. No.
Oh.
We traveled rather far from our hometown to plant new roots here in Silver Glen. My father, Ben, his death was somewhat mysterious, and we've traced the puzzle back to this little settlement. My mother will have plenty to say on that subject, if you're interested.
Tell me about Nadia.
Ma's a bit intense, to be sure. Set in her ways, but fiercely loyal to the family. Help her out and you've got a friend for life. Cross her, and you'll be better off skipping town. Not that that'll stop her from cursing your line for the next 1,000 cycles of bendis. My father was a good man, equal in character to his wife. His death nearly destroyed us, Ma and me. But now we're here, and we won't leave until we've held the proper parties accountable for their role in his death.
Wait, there's a third person in here.
Leave
Oh,
me
buddy.
be, I have a job to do.
Okay. Sorry. Oh. I'm gonna take all of these because they are sellable items. Oh. Dude.
What's that gleam?
I hear Nadia whispering all kinds of accusations about Lawrence, but until she has proof, whispers they'll remain.
I'm just stealing from the woman we're gonna help. So don't mind me. Do. I'm gonna grab the 9-inch nails. Oh, there's a chest here. Yeah. That's exactly what I'll do. I mean, that's kind of exactly what just happened. Anyways.
Brandon, what news from the mines?
No news, sir. Goblins will slice us to ribbons if we approach the bridge.
Unacceptable. I want those goblins out of my mine by yesterday. Send another man. As many as it takes.
We haven't enough men among us to take on even a few of them, sir.
Are you deaf? I said I want those goblins out. Make it happen, even if you have to spear Drexis yourself.
Source hunter, are you? What brings you to this neck of the woods? The goblins? The orcs? The cult? Or the whole pretty bouquet?
I like his terminology. Tell me about yourself.
Don't be surprised if you hear more than a few unkind words about yours truly around town. An overseer's got to enforce his share of unpopular guild decisions, you know. I'm finished with this one pony rodeo, though. I did my best by these roughnecks, and now it's time for old Brandon to take a load off. In fact, you may be able to help speed my retirement plan along.
Let's see, what do you got? Oh. Let's hear the details.
I must say, I'm also intrigued.
Oh, I knew a source hunter'd perk up at the sound of a challenge.
Let's discuss your retirement plan.
Between you and me, The Troll King's sitting on a piece of treasure of more value than even he knows. A metal called tenebrium that can fetch a prettier sum than its weight in gold. I intend to lift it, sell it, and live out the rest of me days in comfort. The devil's in the details, though, and I haven't managed to find a way to access the King's Cave, much less make off with the stuff without being noticed. But you're a source hunter. You can sniff out any point of mystery. So let's make a deal, You find the tenebrium and bring it to me, and I'll deliver you a few pieces of information about Silverglen, and Lawrence in particular, that are sure to make your mouth water. I wouldn't wish the wrath on me worst enemy, though. So let me give you a little something to contain the tenebrium bars. It's lined with the fragments of a special stone that keeps rats' ill effects at bay.
Okay, tell me more. Tell me
Apart
about the
from Gungir's stature and incurable case of the uglies, it's not so different from a parakeet. Got a brain the size of a pea and a fervent passion for all things bright and shiny. The nutty oaf sits on a river of silver beneath these mines, but leases it to the mining company for a fraction of its worth in gold. He'd rather put those hefty minions of his on toll duty than mine these hills himself for 5 times the reward. I can't be certain myself where his cave is located, but at least one of those oaf lackeys of his must know where to look. They've got to do something with all the gold they've gathered in the course of guarding those damn bridges, haven't they?
I'd like to ask you some further questions.
I'm no man to refuse a source hunter. Ask away, friend.
Can you tell me about
A
tenebrium?
strange sort of substance, discovered here around 2 years ago, and folks have been clamouring to get their paws on the rancid stuff ever since. To the right buyer, it's worth more than diamonds.
What do you know about rot?
Rot? Oh, you're a curious sort of fella, aren't you?
Yeah.
Ask around. Half the men here have a brother who died from it. The other half were cured by that cult.
Do you know anything about a miner named Ben?
I remember him well. Decent man, strong-backed, with something of a funny accent, no? He managed to leave Silverglen alive, but as I recall, the symptoms of wrath were already upon him.
I guess I'll take my leave.
A source hunter! My liege, I am at your disposal. I am Lawrence, the representative of the mining guild responsible for operations in Silverglen. Please, valiant hunter, let us know how we can assist you.
First off, I don't like it anyways.
Hello again, Your Grace.
Fortune!
Tell me about yourself.
Oh, I am no one special. Merely a humble servant of the guild and shepherd to the happy...
Just in case. Just in case I missed any conversation with them. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay.
Oh, my only cause for complaint, Your Grace, are these awful goblins. They're starving us out, refusing even a single honest miner his right to work. Perhaps, my most upright highness, you might be able to help us with this little problem.
Probably, after I attempt to loot you. Good God. Are you currently using?
Hello again, Your Grace.
Where's that bow at? +9 due to level difference? What? Level 18 required to use this? Good God.
Oh, my only... You must forgive me if I become somewhat overcome when discussing it, my liege. To think how I've been betrayed. To think how the humble miners of Silver Glen suffer. I invited a tribe of goblins to assist us in clearing the tenebrium from our mine, you see. The leader of the troop, a certain spitting Satan named Drexis, promised to clear the tenebrium and be gone. When the job was done, though, he and his band of totem-brained fiends refused to vacate. They've kept close guard of the bridges to the mine since, and they'll slice whoever dares approach them into ribbons.
Something is up with Lawrence? He doesn't have a brain.
These goblins follow Drexis like lemmings, Your Grace, and if only I could undo the traitor, they'd slither back to the swamp they crawled from. Drexis's head on my mantle would save countless miners from a slow starvation, my liege. What's one goblin over countless disenfranchised workers?
Nadia has accused you of willfully endangering your property.
Preposterous! What does that foreigner know about the affairs of Silver Glen? You do best to do as I do, my liege, and turn a deaf ear to her insane accusations.
I'd like to ask you further questions.
Please, Your Grace, I am completely at your disposal.
Tell me about the goblins.
Those brutes! They haven't allowed a single human miner past them in months. And meanwhile, my men have all but forgotten their vocation and turned instead to their damned religion.
What can you tell me about Tenebria?
Useless stuff, my liege. Worse than common dirt. But 10 times as difficult to extract and infinitely more dangerous. If only we'd known in advance the terrible effect rot would have, we would have stopped trying to clear it immediately.
What is rot exactly?
Yes, a dreadful business, that. I've been fortunate enough to avoid the sickness so far, my liege, but my heart truly breaks for the families of those who've been afflicted. You see, my liege, when a miner has been overlong exposed to tenebrium, he begins showing certain symptoms. Gangrene about the extremities, fatigue, malaise. At first, we attributed these symptoms to, well, to poor diet, laziness, and general malingering. Had we known then what we've since discovered, we never would have continued operations. But alas, mistakes were made, and those we lost can never be brought back, no matter what that crackpot conduit would have one believe.
The conduit. Care to tell more?
My liege, you ought not to concern yourself with the fraudulent leader of a crackpot cult. Really, the whole affair is an utter embarrassment to Silver Glen. Some insane huckster calling herself the conduit of the goddess made her way to Silver Glen at the height of the rot hold on our miners. The people were desperate, you see. when by magic or illusion she managed to cure a handful of them of the affliction, every last one of the bunch began speaking of her as though she were some messiah. Now most of the town is taken with her little cult of immaculates, as she calls them. Fortunately for her, she disappeared shortly after her little trick. Or I would have thrown her into prison and swallowed the key myself. Imagine hypnotizing an entire town with nothing more than snake oil.
Do you remember my miner named Ben?
Ah, yes. Ben. Of course, one of our many noble miners, Your Grace. A smallish man. I believe he's around here somewhere, isn't he?
What do you know about the Immaculates?
Enough to know the whole institution has been a blight on productivity. With the blessings of the conduit to replace a sense of a job well done, the miners care hardly at all for getting the mines back in good working order.
I'll take him.
Just look at him. Asking toll to cross a broken bridge. Ridiculous.
Hasn't been paid in ages, has it? Might as well jump off the cliff for all the good he's doing.
I'm sure the goblins wouldn't mind. They could eat off him for weeks.
They'd make a feast out of old Fumble, all right. A veritable banquet of lard. Oh, yuck.
Well, let's see what else we got around.